There is a real iPhone 17 Pro out there, which is good and terrible news for you. We've had our first glimpse at a true, complete iPhone 17 Pro, and it reveals both good and bad news for Apple fans. There is a real model of the iPhone 17 Pro that is coming out, and a picture of it has been posted online. Depending on how you look at it, the picture shows both good and terrible news. It also makes it clear what Apple's newest flagship phones will look like this year. This is a prototype of the iPhone 17 Pro that is being stress tested, which is why there are big cracks on its rear. This test helps makers see how a product does after it falls. From the image, the bad news seems to be that the new redesign is virtually fixed in stone. I think the iPhone 17 Pro looks great, but a lot of other people don't agree with me. I have to say that this phone appears a little less enticing than some of the renders. This prototype is too late to not be the final version of the iPhone, but I hope that the cameras, which are way too big relative to the island, will look different on the final product. However, there's also some good news here for everyone interested in getting the iPhone 17 Pro. If the makeover is all but confirmed, then so are the numerous of hardware enhancements that Apple is purportedly bringing this year. For starters, all iPhone 17 models are getting LTPO 120Hz screens, or ProMotion displays, as Apple puts them. The only iPhone 17 model with a 60Hz display will likely be the iPhone 17e next year. Second, either all or practically all of the iPhone 17 models are going to be packed with 12 gigs of RAM. Supply chain limitations may cause Apple to keep the base iPhone 17 model at 8 gigs of RAM, but all of the other versions have multiple rumors verifying their RAM bump. A recent invitation to an Apple event scheduled for September turned out to be a dummy. However, the new phones are still very likely due out next month. It'll be the final time that each flagship iPhone model is released simultaneously during one event, assuming reports about Apple's new release timetable are right. Apple's iPhone 17 lineup is almost around the corner, and if the sources are correct, this might be one of the greatest shakeups in years. We're getting a brand new ultra-thin iPhone 17 Air, a supercharged iPhone 17 Pro Max, and somewhere in the between, the iPhone 17 Pro. But here's the catch. For the first time in a long time, the Pro model might be the toughest sell of the group. 1. The iPhone 17 Air is the flashiest new model. The major headline this year is the iPhone 17 Air. Think of it as Apple's replacement for the Plus, except this time it's thinner, sleeker, and way more futuristic. If you're searching for a phone that shouts new design, this is it. Leaks say the 17 Air could get a 120Hz display and other pro-level features, but its main selling point is its razor-thin frame. That comes with trade-offs. Expect a lower battery and fewer camera updates, but for consumers chasing that next-gen appearance, like when the iPhone X dropped, the Air will be the phone everyone noticed first. 2. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is still the powerhouse. On the other end, we've got the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Historically, the larger iPhone has been the fan favorite, and this year that disparity could grow even greater. Rumors indicate Apple is making it thicker to squeeze in the biggest battery ever in an iPhone. Add in an enhanced telephoto camera and the fact that people adore bigger screens, and it's shaping up to be the ultimate do-everything iPhone. If you want the greatest cameras, the longest battery life, and the biggest display, the Pro Max remains unrivaled. 3. Where does that leave the iPhone 17 Pro? Here's the problem. The 17 Pro stands between those two extremes. It'll still be a terrific phone, it's an iPhone Pro after all, but without the ultra-thin wow effect of the Air or the physical force of the Pro Max, it might feel like the most ordinary option in the lineup. Apple is apparently making 256 gigs the new baseline storage, which cushions the shock of rising costs, but is that enough to keep the Pro compelling? 3. The toughest year yet for the Pro model. For years, the Pro has been the safe bet, better than the base model, but smaller and cheaper than the Max. With the iPhone 17 lineup, that balance changes. Shoppers who want something flamboyant will certainly draw toward the Air, while power users would naturally pull toward the Max. That leaves the 17 Pro in a curious middle ground, still powerful, still premium, but maybe just maybe not the star of the show this year. We're confident that Apple will inform us the iPhone 17's launch date as soon as next week. But until we have formal confirmation, let's talk best guesses. We predict that the new iPhones will finally debut within only a couple of weeks, but seeing the iPhone 17 series officially for the first time is only part of the process. We'll still have to wait for both pre-orders to open and for the phones to hit shop shelves before we can get our hands on one. Going on Apple's past iPhone releases, plus rumors and a little conjecture, this is what we can glean about when we'll see the iPhone 17 event, featuring the base model, iPhone 17 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro Max, and brand new iPhone 17 Air, and when we might be able to buy one. Apple has, for the past several years, been consistent with the launch date of the iPhone, unveiling its latest models to the world in the second week of September. There have been exceptions to this. 2020 and the height of the COVID-19 outbreak delayed the iPhone 12's unveiling to October that year, but typically we can forecast Apple's launches reliably. If that wasn't strong enough evidence for you, then Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, a trusted Apple tipster, has said Apple is looking at a launch between September 8 and 12. Since Apple generally does its launches in the first half of the week on a Tuesday, we may presume this year's will happen at the start of the indicated window. To make sure it's ready for buyers, or perhaps just to stoke hype, Apple generally puts the new iPhones out for pre-orders on the Friday after the official announcement. You can check out the store pages from announcement day, but you can't push the buy button until later. Pre-orders normally open at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Time, so unless you're in Europe, you'll need to get up early to stake your claim on one. Otherwise, you might be in for a longer wait, since popular models and colors routinely move in and out of supply, sometimes requiring consumers to wait months for their phone to arrive. This is the day we should finally see the iPhone 17 in stores, online, and offline. You may not be able to grab one immediately, since retailers will have to take care of their pre-ordering customers first, but you can at least go and check one out in person if you need to handle the different iPhone 17s to help make your mind up. For the iPhone 17 Pro, we expect an A19 Pro system on chip to power the phone. If Apple pursues the same strategy it did with the A18 Silicon, it would mean an extra graphic core for the Pro version of the A19 chips. Initial speculation stated that the A19 Silicon will be produced using a 2-nanometer process, which would entail more densely packed transistors, leading in improved performance and power efficiency. Lately, meanwhile, reports have indicated that Apple's chip-building partner will use a new iteration of its 3-nanometer process, which should bring some enhancements over the A18 Pro Silicon in the current Pro models. Reports now say the iPhone 18 Pro models will be the first iPhones to feature 2-nanometer chipsets. Apple includes 8 gigs of RAM on its current iPhones. To help protect its phones from overheating, Apple is rumored to be working on a vapor cooling chamber, which would replace the typical heat sinks seen in Apple's existing phones. A shot showing off the vapor chamber has surfaced, adding to the assumption that this feature will come to pass. It looks like only the Pro versions will provide vapor cooling. The larger iPhone 16 Pro design allows Apple to put a larger 3,582 mAh battery in that phone. It's unclear if Apple will have any room to expand battery size again with the iPhone 17 Pro, or simply rely on superior power efficiency to extend the battery life of its new phone. One thing that could change on the power front would be a rise to the iPhone 17 Pro's charging speeds from the 20-watt maximum that Apple's phones have been stuck at for years. A study note from February indicates charging speeds on the iPhone 17 range could increase to 35 watt. That's still a far cry from what phones like the Galaxy S25 Ultra offer with their 45-watt wired charging rates, but it's still a definite increase. Meanwhile, regulatory documents imply a Hue i2 wireless charging upgrade, providing greater speeds could be in place for the iPhone 17 series to benefit from. Apple has ripped the wraps off iOS 26, unveiling the software during its Worldwide Developers Conference 2025 keynote. This software will almost probably debut on the iPhone 17 Pro when the phone comes, and it brings a new liquid glass design that takes its cues from Apple's Vision OS software. In addition to the new appearance, there are the normal round of upgrades to existing apps, along with the launch of a new Games app that gathers all your mobile gaming activity in one location. Apple Intelligence features aren't generating the amount of excitement they had a year ago, but Apple is adding to the range of AI tools on its phones. You'll get live translation capabilities for phone calls, FaceTime sessions, and text messaging, and Apple is adding call screening features as well. Visual intelligence will soon be able to search up information that's taken on your iPhone screen too. If the early iPhone 17 Pro rumors pan out, it doesn't sound like Apple is going to cease lavishing attention on its Pro versions. Potential camera enhancements and a fresh design lead the changes we've heard about so far, and more potential improvements could emerge in the months between now and the launch of the new Apple phones. All eyes figure to be on the iPhone 17 Pro's price and what impact tariffs may have on the cost of upgrading your phone in the fall. While that issue remains as unsettled as ever, mounting evidence suggests this fall's iPhone could cost more than ever. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.